Hey everyone, this is Phil from Northern Wild Harvest. I'm out here about 100 kilometers down the Forest Service roads in the Canadian bush harvesting morel mushrooms on previous year's wildfires. Morels are the fruit of the mycelium. You do not harm the mycelium by picking the mushrooms. However, we try to carry the mushrooms in ventilated containers for a number of reasons. One being that we can drop spores to new areas as we walk the mushrooms out of the bush and hope to start new mycelia in spots that don't already have active mycelia. Today I'm going to be packboarding into a spot that I did quite well in 2 days ago. It's been pouring rain here, but right now the sun is shining. So we're going to go do our best today, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, it's finally warmed up to 6 degrees Celsius here. Got up at 5:20 today. Gonna make the most of this sun. There is some threatening rain clouds, but we'll see what happens. There's a chance of thunder showers today, but hopefully I can get some mushrooms before that happens. If it doesn't rain, I'm gonna have a nice long day of picking. This is day 31 in a row, harvesting wild morel mushrooms in the Canadian wilderness. We're at the peak of the season here at Great Beaver Lake Wildfire, and I've just discovered a huge patch of morels at the very end of this small decommissioned spur road. The last time I harvested here, I managed to pick 86 pounds of morels from along this small creek in the surrounding area. Following that, I crossed this old clear cut, and just as I was finding an incredible patch, I was forced out of the bush by extreme weather. It's first thing in the morning. The sun is shining today. I'm alone out here. There's a huge patch of mushrooms on the horizon, and I have a bad case of morel fever. Gotta remember to grab more batteries. Let's grab both of those batteries so that this camera doesn't die. Okay, I'm all set. I've got the GPS, bear spray, bear banger, drone, compass, food, first aid, packboard, lots of gear. We are going down this hill, across a creek, up the other hill, across a clear cut, and into that far ground over there. My good hiking boots wore out, so I'm walking all this in gum boots today. Now I'm wearing 2 pairs of socks, but carrying a heavy packboard with gum boots is a recipe for blisters. For the last 2 days it's been pouring rain, including last night. So when that happens, the berm becomes very slippery because you can slide out on the ash. Yeah, it's real slippery out right now. Hopefully it dries out by the time I'm packing out today. So there's the little creek I need to cross, and it's really mucky in spots, and right here it's like 4 feet deep. But there's a spot I've been crossing up ahead that is not too bad. Oh, it's come up quite a bit. Oh, I'm gonna make it. If it goes over the gum boots, I'm in trouble. It's within inches. I'm making it. Oh, nice. There's wild mint all over the shores. It smells amazing. Grab a couple of these on the way. I've got my bucket set up so I can just reach behind me and pop them in. These ones are getting a little bit old. I don't recommend picking with the packboard on. It's really hard on the knees. But right now it's mostly empty, and I'm just grabbing a few. I could stop here on the way back though. There's a couple dozen nice sized mushrooms. Okay, ahead of me is where I was picking last time. Oh man, that's a greenie. 2 more greenies, another greenie. They were not here just 2 days ago. They've popped up in the last 2 days. 2 tomentosa right there. If this whole patch turns into greens and grays, that would be wonderful. I'm almost at the spot we left off. Mushrooms still look good that I'm walking past here. I just want to put my pack nice and central. See how it comes out of the needles into a more black burn. I want to put my pack right on that transition. Took me 21 minutes to get in here, 1.18 kilometers. All right, I'm all set. Let's get some mushrooms. So those are still nice and fresh. Nice white stem. When you're in a good patch like this and you can hear a vehicle in the distance, it causes a little bit of nervousness because they could come and find your patch while you're picking it and you know what's at stake. But I'm pretty far in here. I'm pretty well protected in here. Most people won't cross the creek unless they have to. There's lots of other areas that are easier, but not very many areas that are producing like this. I know somebody's going to comment and say that I'm wasting the stems. On burns here in Canada, it's the commercial standard to have 1/4 inch or less stems because, first of all, this species of morel doesn't have a very long stem. By the time the stem elongates, it's because the mushroom is going bad. These aren't North American yellow morels, they are black fire morels. And the dirt on burns tends to be on the stems. They also dehydrate better with short stems. So those are some of the reasons we keep short stems here. The fresh buyers in the field will quite literally reject your mushrooms if your stems are too long. Stems are totally fine for eating, and we've even considered cutting them off afterwards and drying them as mushroom calamari. I'm already at almost half a bucket. Full bucket is 12 pounds when it's completely full. These aspens are just pumping the mushrooms. And you see these are too old. They've created like a wizard's hat, witchy hat. They're squishy, but there's a lot that aren't like that. Look here, more than half of these are still good. But I do have to be selective. Just look at these. It's just pumping the mushrooms. As I'm going, I'm seeing little baby grays, Morchella tomentosa. So I would just be so happy if this ground turned into blondes and grays when this is all done. If you're new to the channel or to fire morels, they kind of come in two main waves. You have these species, the early black morels, and they come up first in each area, followed by the grays slash blondes and greens, which come later. So right now we're at the very end of the early black morel flush, conicas. Just bubbling out of the ground. There's so many mushrooms. Bucket is full. 54 minutes. It was over 20 minutes walking in, so just over half an hour for a bucket. That's amazing. That's really, really good. If I rushed, I could probably do a 20-minute bucket, but I want to pace myself. Woo! There's our first monster of the day. Look at that morel. And there's another big one right here. Oh, that's a beast. Look at the mushrooms here. You ever seen anything like this before? Incredible. Look at that. Now that is a lot of morels. bucket's full. Going back to the pack. That was amazing. There's so many in here. I know I'm gonna load up here, and the mushrooms are a little bit on the wet side from all this rain. So what I'm gonna do is spread them out across the baskets throughout the day so they can dry off a bit as I'm harvesting. We are drying our mushrooms today, so it's all about the dry rates. The lighter they are when I hike them out, the better. Aspen trees mixed with spruce trees and a few pine. It's the perfect mix for boreal burn mushroom picking, morel picking. Some of the trees have survived. A couple of green topped aspen, orange top pine, blackened black spruce, and you see the result. Most of the ones I'm picking are like that. Firm, partially white, double-walled conicas. I've been thinking about, because we have our own shop, I could take the stems like this, cut them in half, dry them like that, and it would be a mushroom calamari. Oh, please don't rain. That's a nice one. That's a honker. My bucket's almost full again. Before I go back to the pack, I'm just gonna go scout this blowdown, see how that's looking. Threatening rain here. I don't mind picking in the rain a little bit, but if you saw that other episode, that was pretty extreme. Hour and 46 minutes in, 3.32 kilometers so far, and I'm already at least 25 pounds. It's gonna be a good day. There's definitely more mushrooms over there, but this bucket, I'm gonna try to stick to what I'm seeing. The aspen is the place to be. I wanna focus on the aspen first, because it's just pumping mushrooms. Try to stick to that trend until it runs out. See, there's still babies coming in these deeper needle spots. Come back here in 3 days. I think this is where I was when I was picking in that hailstorm. Yes, I didn't make it up this high on the ravine. There's so many mushrooms here. Something making noise. Might just be the trees. Look at these mushrooms. Look at it, perfectly clean. a little bit wetter here, which is almost too wet. It's not producing the mushrooms quite as much as the other spot. Just that perfect amount of water. Nice big gray here. Look at that. I'm at almost half a bucket again. Didn't make it to these ones in time. A lot of these are too old. So the one that was under the log was still good. The rest are all blown out. You see all those mushrooms glowing? I think a lot of these are too old. That one's okay. There's a couple that are good, but too old. Too old. The way they feel really gives away. Like this mushroom here. Nice and firm, still partially white stemmed. They crumble. So this one's too old. See how the stem's like really orange and bumpy, and if I squeeze it, it breaks. This is like the ultimate morel graveyard here. There's probably 300 or 400 morels around me that are no good. And the tragic thing is, if I had been able to keep picking the other day, I would have been able to pick a lot of these, but now they've gone bad. It is what it is. You see how there's water pooling and then it comes up a bit? The ones over there, they're just out of the moisture. They look good still. Look at that, a new flush starting right here. Whoa, will it produce again? Steadily improving it as I come up in elevation here. When you hear the mushrooms make that sound, that's how you know that they're really fresh. The mushrooms are just gorgeous here. They're very nice, but they're also quite wet. So having them spread out in the baskets is definitely a good idea. And guess what? It's getting sunny out, but not hot. See, if it gets sunny and it gets hot sunny, it can cause the mushrooms to spore. The heat will trigger sporing. A little bit of sun and wind. It's probably 15 degrees out. Each time I come back to the pack here, I unload my bucket, have some water, and then I head back out.
By using the drone and the tracking line on my GPS, I make sure that I'm not missing any of the different areas within this bountiful patch of morels. I've placed my packboard down right along the transition between the soft and hard burn, and I'm relatively central so that I can work in all directions from this spot with my bucket. You can see the tail of Great Beaver Lake in the distance. At around 30 kilometers long, this lake builds up pressure and sends bursts of weather shooting across this patch throughout the day. It reminds me of a great beaver slapping its tail. I can't help but wonder if the unique weather pattern at this end of the lake is partially why this spot is so abundant, while other areas are struggling to produce across the burn.
So I really did put my packboard central in a really good spot here, because I can go back that way. There's a whole other aspen wet zone past that one swath of blowdown I was in earlier. So that's probably another bucket over there. I'm going to head back first to where I just was. Then back through here, there's probably some mushrooms. So lots of ground. I'm in a great central location. I'm gonna try to just keep a steady pace through the day. That's perfect. I've just been in the zone this whole time for the last 15 minutes, picking mushrooms like that, nice and firm. I'm already at half a bucket. These are all great condition too. I can't fit any more, so I'm going back. Yeah, look. No spore, and the mushrooms have all dried off in the wind here. Perfect. Right on. I think I have room for one more bucket before I need to go back to the truck. So when the mushrooms are bigger like this, the baskets are a little bit lighter. When they're really big mushrooms, they're usually 10.5 pound baskets instead of 11.5 to 12. But these mushrooms are a little bit wet, so they're probably pushing 11.5, even considering there's larger mushrooms. Hopefully by the time I walk them out, it's a little bit less. Even though it might seem more impressive to say I picked a certain amount of fresh weight, in the end, what matters is our dry weight. Better if the mushrooms aren't as wet when I walk them out here. I'm going back to where I just was. That was just too good. Oh, there's a nice one on the way. The aspen trees, they burned into October here. Their leaves, for some reason, stayed on the trees in a lot of cases, and they didn't start falling until this spring. So as I'm going through here, it's like fall, but it's spring. Smells like fall. See how these ones down on the dip earlier flush. A little bit wetter. These ones here are in nicer condition on the drier section. I just heard thunder. Oh no, don't you dare. Don't want that thunder to hit me. Whoa. Oh, that's a pocket. Look at that. Okay, we're gonna start with this one. That's a beauty. That's a handful of morels. Wow. That's a lot of mushrooms. Oh, look at that big one. We're going for it. It's got the camera running, so I'm grabbing the big one. Really good mushrooms here. They're in the deeper needles. Most of them are still fresh, so I don't have to grade. I can just pick like a madman. Still grading, but I don't have to grade nearly as hard. Yep, nice. All right, I keep hearing thunder rolling in the distance. I'm just gonna finish up this spot here and then go back to the pack. Hopefully it doesn't hit me. It's really starting to rumble in the distance. I'm gonna go back. My extender's about 2/3 full. Probably fill it on the way. Those are absolutely as mature as I'm willing to harvest them. That one's a little too far gone. Full. All right, let's strap these on the pack. There it is. Okay, see this thundercloud? It's the whole time I was doing that, it was just rolling. It seems to have calmed down a bit right this very moment. I finished about 15 minutes ago. See how I've done this? I got my bucket completely over full in the back with the 2 green bungees. All the bungees are color coded to size. They come like that. You want the old school bungees. I got a couple of these modern, these really bad ones. They've got no tensor strength. You need the ones that have proper tensor strength, and they're hard to get nowadays. On the way out here, I'll have the camera, bear spray, and then water. GPS is tracking it, and I've put the bag over the top. Now this is covering my gear basket, so all the mushrooms are still ventilated, but if all the rain from above will be blocked and they won't get soaked. Now for the hard part, let's get these back to the truck. Oh, this is a lot harder by yourself. That's why I only brought 6 baskets instead of 7. Okay, I'm standing. Squeaky pack board. If you're just tuning into the channel for the first time, welcome. You picked a good episode. This is a good day. I literally worked my buns off to find this patch. It's ominous. Greenie. I want to see more of those. Another greenie. Very good. This spot might have a future for us here over the next few weeks. Okay, here's a clear cut. Can actually see the truck over there, but I have to aim for these big sand hills because there's only one spot I found on the creek that I can cross without water going over my gumboots. See the blue sky? I'm chasing it. It's right above the truck. Okay, the rain is just starting to hit me. Felt a few drops. Just going through the swamps of the dead here. I'm a metal object in the middle of an open space during thunder. Haven't seen any lightning, but if it strikes and I'm out here, it could hit me. Here we go. Holy, uh-oh. Now there's wind. Wind is equally dangerous because it'll push the burnt trees over onto me. Getting down this little hill is more challenging than you'd think. Slippery. Hail. It's hailing. Not again. Whoa. What the hell? Here's our spot. Okay, I'm sitting. Boots in the creek. Standing. We're good. And now to climb this. I'm gonna start crawling. That hill is brutal. Oh. Oh. It could have been a lot worse. Like, it sounds bad, but you see there's some nice sky moving from over there. Hopefully it just passes over, but I'm gonna wait it out in the truck and make sure. Because if it hits hard, it's just too dangerous and too slippery out there. Okay, there's load number one. I think it's passing. Gonna give it a little longer. I managed to get the baskets all in and my pack board set back up to square one, ready to go as soon as this weather passes. I'm not sure how much is left out there, but we're gonna find out, aren't we? Who knows what's gonna happen, but I don't feel like waiting anymore, so I'm going back. It's about 10 degrees Celsius out right now. I was able to dry off in the truck with the heat on, and I feel refreshed. I feel good. Look at that big soggy sitting out in the clear cut. Spore. When I go through this ground here, it's already done a full cycle of 3 Conica flushes in this ground. And look how little green understory plant growth has started so far. And that means there's a lot of life left in this ground before those understory plants start out competing the morels. And I'm hoping the rest of the energy from the mycelium goes into grays and greens. I literally just said goes into grays and greens, and then I find this nice big green. There's a whole bunch here. 5 more greens right here. We're back. So that's where I first picked the first bucket today. What I'm gonna do to start here is go around the swath of blowdown and check the other side, work down it. Hello, chunky morchellas. And that's the danger of the burn. I was standing here watching that tree wiggle, saw its roots start to lift, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to pick that mushroom until that's done. Now I'll go pick it though. Pulled right out of the ground. Dead roots. Burnt roots. Starting to rain. Next I'm going to walk down this way, and I'd like to get at least 3 or 4 baskets on this load. That would be great. The weather has cleared up again. Bit of sun, bit of rain, bit of sun, bit of rain. All these trees that are blown down, that's from the wind. That's happened since it burned. It's very dangerous. Beautiful and sunny. Big rain cloud coming. What I'll do is I'll get these strapped on the pack just in case it starts pouring. If it gets too wet, then I just have to strap on whatever's in my bucket and get out of here. So 3 full baskets on there plus the gear basket. I got it covered in my rain jacket in case it starts pouring. Let's see, is that one still good? No, that one's too old, unfortunately. She got squishy, spongy, but a lot of these are good. I can tell a lot of them are really good. Chunky. That's a Johnny Honker right there. Here it comes. I'm close to the pack. Just watched another tree fall. I'm gonna sit right here. This is protected. And I'm just gonna wait this out. Puddle here. It's really cold. The wind that's hitting me right now is probably near freezing. Look how big some of these hailstones are. Oh, the hail stopped. I'm absolutely frozen right now. I've actually cleaned a lot of the area around me here. I've checked the GPS. I've been pretty thorough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hike back through this and then hope to warm up a little bit. If the weather stops raining by then, I might drop the pack and try to fill my bucket down there, because there's one spot down there I kind of want to look at. I want to carry this pack for a bit and warm up. I have the truck. It's not that far away. I'm not concerned about it. But if I just sat here and did nothing, I'm soaking wet and it's near freezing. And I just got hailed on for 25 minutes. So I got to do something about it and get warm. The rain has stopped for now. If it starts pouring, all I have to do is strap on the bucket and get across this clear cut in that creek and up the big hill. Got to get through this green swampland. Yuck. Okay, I might be onto something here. These look fresh. Beauty. There's this whole other zone down here. Nice little stream laden with morels. I'm getting drawn over there. There's this amazing wet zone, huge mushrooms, and a bunch of aspen trees. My bucket's almost full. I gotta leave some for next time. So I'm gonna work this line back to my pack and then get back to the truck. There's an absurd amount of morels in here. Most of them have blown out, but it's just absolutely insane. It's almost hard to walk through because so many of them have gone bad. This little patch is still good. I must have just walked through like, I don't know, 2,000 morels right there. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, too soft. That one's good. Yes, the honker is good. Yeah. Oh, they're all spongy. So my bucket is full. I managed to fill it. I would actually have to say that the densest mushrooms I saw today were in that area I just walked through. They were just all blown out. But it was a good little scout because if I can find some areas that are out of that wet swamp and more in the needles in that zone tomorrow or the next time I'm in here, that could be my next harvest. So that's another 4 very solid baskets on this run, 6.5 on the last. Honestly, I could get more, but I want to save some for next time. Oh. Oh.
There's something about immersing yourself in the wilderness and foraging mushrooms that's deeply satisfying as a human. Around half a decade ago, while working deep in the Yukon bush, I had the thought of filming my mushroom foraging adventures. When I started this channel, I knew that I was going to be adding more work to an already difficult job. Trying to time-lapse while flying the drone and carrying a packboard is no easy task. Have the time to get the perfect camera angles and staging, but I've been determined to document this lifestyle regardless. I hope you enjoy watching me struggle my way up hills, over creeks, and through swamps.
There's the rain. After all, why not? Why shouldn't I get wet? Oh, hail! Another hailstorm! What? I got the drone down just in time. Woo! It might be cold and wet, but it makes you feel alive. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Sun's coming through. Oh, got hit right in the face. Don't look that way. It's crazy weather today. Beautiful, sunny, hailing day. I hope I've earned your like today. If I have, then I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, this time I nailed it. There's the tree that I crossed next to. Wild mint. Smells amazing. Who says mushroom pickers have to smell bad? Not you again. Oh man. Let's just get it done. Ah, yes. All right. That's today's harvest. 11 hours, 12 minutes. Straight going. I had about a 20-minute break in the truck and a few 5-minute breaks at the pack. Other than that, I was motoring the whole time. 19 kilometers, but as you know, a lot of that's with a pack on or bending over and crouched down. So that's a solid day. I'll try to show you my line here. The blue one. And it's hard to see. I gotta find a way to upload this onto YouTube, into the videos. All this blue. Okay, we just gotta get off these roads and get back to camp. How you doing, eh?
I was bent over the generator.
No, yeah. How's your day?
Morning.
Yeah. Oh, look at these. Nice. Oh, I'd eat that. You have no idea how it feels to bite into that after that day.
What do you think of that, eh?
That was a good day.
How many?
Like maybe 120 pounds.
Woo! Look at those babies.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Let's get them weighed up. $119 one day. There's some big honkers in there.
130 between us.
Yeah, look at the size of some of these. There's just some big mushrooms in there. Ideally, we'd have our rack set up so that that fan's blowing as well, but we don't, so we're just going to use this little guy tonight, and it'll get air on these overnight. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, comment below whatever you want. If you want to support us further, our online shop is linked in the description. This is all part of a watchable series. We document our mushroom seasons in chronological order from start to finish. Pretty far into the season here, and that was a great day. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.